Boys, Ceiling MMA here, and today I'm fucking back. I mean, I'm always taking long breaks just 'cause I have a lot of stuff going on, but we're gonna be predicting the UFC 314, the full card. I'm yeah, I'm hyped to be fair. I mean, I'm not gonna be watching this one live. I think because I'm gonna be actually I might. Never mind, lads. Ignore what I just said. Um, anyways. I'm just going to get into it. Starting off, Nora Cornoli versus Hayley Cohen at women's bantamweight. I mean, I don't know too much about this one, but I know that Hayley Cohen fucking sucks. I saw her lose once. I don't remember when or to who. I just remember seeing her lose pretty recently. Um, and Nora Cornoli's alright. I'm pretty sure she's coming off a loss. Maybe. In fact, yeah, she's coming off a loss, but Cavalcanti is like pretty good, you know? Like she's good. And Nora Canoli, like yeah, she's also quite good. Um and she almost all of her wins are finishes. I know I'm not looking too much into this, but I think Nora Canoli is good enough to get this one done. And I'm just gonna say decision. Moving on, Trace Gore versus Marco Tulio. Lads, Trace Gore is actually in a 2-fight winning streak, back-to-back guillotines, and I could see him catching Marco Tulio. In fact, I'm pretty sure Marco Tulio's. Who's he dating? He's dating a women's MMA fighter. Is it Aline Perez? Wait, hold on, lads. I'm gonna Google this shit on my phone, real quick. Um, wait. Oh, this might not even work though, because my internet's really shit up here. Um, who the fuck is that? Norma Jamont. There we go. There we go. I get her confused with the other fit WMMA fighters. Well, she's alright. I'm gonna go Marco Tulio. He's pretty good. He's a good striker. He's got some pop. Trey Shangor got knocked out by Cody Brundage. Enough said. Cody Brundage is decent, but still, I mean, he beat Julian Marquez. That's not really. Yeah. Marco Tulio's gonna win that. Sumu Daji, Mitch Raposo. Now, this is a good fight, to be fair. Mitch Raposo is quite well-rounded. Sumidaji's kind of like an aggressive striker, but he's not very powerful. But I think I'm going to go with Sumidaji because if you lads watch his last fight, he arguably could have won against Charles Johnson. Like, he got dropped in a moment in that fight, but he was like outstriking him in the other rounds. Like, you arguably could have given Sumidaji that fight. And I think he's good enough to beat Mitch Raposo, who I don't rate very highly. I just think he's kind of well-rounded, not amazing. Is he a New England Cartel, the one with Rob Font and Calvin K? I don't know. Maybe he is. No, I just don't think he's great. Sumidaji decision. Fuck it. Cedric Dumas versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Bro, Mikhail Oleksiejczuk is actually underrated. The guy had a close fight with Sharon Magomedov where he looked good. He dropped Kevin Holland, which is impressive because Kevin Holland has a fucking granite chin. And I know he got subbed right after, but still, like, Cedric Dumas, he's just not all that. Like, he's got pretty good grappling, but I think Oleksiejczuk is very strong, and I think he's good enough to shuck him off here. And I'm gonna go with Oleksiejczuk by KO. On to the main prelims. Darren Elkins, Julian Erosa. The odds are fair. I think Julian Erosa is actually good when he puts it together. Sometimes he doesn't. I'm pretty sure this guy beat C-Rod actually. But, you know, when Julian Erosa puts it together, he can win. Darren Elkins, I did not remember Darren Elkins being that fucking ugly. I'm sorry, man. But no offense. Fucking hell. Nah. Julian Erosa, I think, is gonna win by a decision. I just think he's better than Darren Elkins. Darren Elkins, he needs to kind of get the wrestling going, and you know, that's like kind of what he does, and he'll try and outgrind you like he did to Pineda in his last fight. And I just think Julian Erosa's just better than him. He's gonna beat him everywhere. I don't look. We don't fucking care about this fight. Anyway, moving on. The biggest favourite on the card is Chase Hooper against Jim Miller. I could genuinely see a fraud check here, like no joke, but just because like those have been happening a lot lately. You know, you think a favourite's gonna win, You think Yo Anderson Brito is going to beat Pat Sabatini, and it turns out Pat Sabatini's good. You think Peyton Talbot's going to beat Raoni Barcelos, and it turns out Peyton Talbot's fucking shit. So Jim Miller, Chase Hooper. I know I just went on a rant about fraud checks, but Chase Hooper's probably going to get this one done. The Clay Guida fight was pretty impressive. Jim Miller's old. He took a lot of damage against Bobby Green. I could see Chase Hooper hurting him as well. That's another thing. This guy dropped Borshev, which is, I mean, Borshev isn't great, but like it's pretty impressive. You know, he has the power on the feet. He has an ability to strike, and he's just really good on the ground. Like he's kind of Charles Oliveira maxing as well. You know, going up from being a shit featherweight to now going on a run at lightweight. I think Chase Hooper subs him in round 1. Now, I like Chase Hooper. I hope he wins. No offense to Jim Miller, he's cool, but like yeah. Yan Jianan, Verna Jandaroba. Yan Jianan is low-key one of my favourite women's MMA fighters, and I hope she wins. She had a competitive fight with Wei Li last time. She struggled with the ground, but she has really good hands. For women's MMA, she has some of the best hands, low-key. I'm going to lean Yan Jianan's direction in this one. Either way, the winner is just going to go on to either fight another contender at strawweight or just lose to Wei Li. Again, for Jianan. And I do think Jandaroba is a really good grappler, and she could get this done. This is a really close fight, but I'm going to lean Jianan on damage. I think she can work her way to her feet, and I think she'll be able to hurt Jandaroba, Sharamagomedov on the feet, and win on damage. But it'll be a close fight. Dan Ige, Sean Woodson. I've been back and forth on this one. I have. Sean Woodson, right? When I thought of Sean Woodson, I was thinking of like a really good. I thought he was good, you know. Then I watched some fights. I watched how close is Alex Caceres fights. I watched all the decisions he's been to, you know, and he is good, but I don't really think he's like. I don't think he's all that, you know. He is tall. He's really tall for this weight class. Is he? What is he like? 6'1", 6'2"? I don't know. How tall is Sean Woodson? It doesn't say. Wait, I might, if I go back. Or what the fuck is happening? If I go back, there we go. If I go back, click on this fight, it should, I don't know I don't know what it's doing now. It should come up with the stats, but it's not doing that. So, I'll just stop yapping and tell you lads that I'm picking Dan Ige, because I think Sean Woodson isn't as good as I thought he was. Oh, yeah, he's 6'2". That's really tall. That is really tall for this weight class. Yeah, I think Dan Ige is he's low-key's OP when he's fighting someone who isn't ranked. Like Lerone was ranked when he lost to him. Okay, fair enough. Bryce Mitchell, and he was a close fight with Bryce Mitchell as well. Really, really close when he lost to him. You know, Dan Ige's got power. He has, and he hits you with shots that you don't expect to carry a lot of power, but they do, and they drop you. And he has pretty good ground game as well. And I think I'm going to go Dan Ige decision. I think Sean Woodson's going to be popping out the jab, and Dan Ige just going to get on the inside fucking overhand and he could hurt him. He can mix up, you know, a tall, lanky frame does mean kind of double legs from like a short, stocky guy like Dan Ige they're gonna be more effective. And yeah, this is close. Sean Woodson could win, but I'm gonna lean Dan Ige by decision. All right. Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. I thought Krylov was from Ukraine. Lads, has Russia won the Ukrainian war while I was recording this? Okay, well, wait. Whatever, that doesn't matter. Well, it does. I'm not saying the Ukrainian war doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter in terms of what I'm talking about. Nikita Krylov is kind of underrated, to be fair. I mean, bedtime is... I'll talk about bedtime in a second, because this fucking guy, man. Always going against, you know... I don't know, man. Fucking... I think Reyes is going to win. I don't know, I think Pitbull's going to win. Yeah, sure. I'm not even... Oh, whatever, ignore me. Krylov, I think, is going to win this. He's wild. He's a marauder. He's kind of a marauder. When he goes in there, he's unpredictable on the feet. People forget, man. This guy's losses are to Jan Blachowicz when it was early in Krylov's career, and a close fight, a competitive fight with Ankalaev, the current champion, and a competitive fight with Glover Teixeira when he was on his run back to the belt. Like, as in, like, when he was on his kind of second wind of his career when he beat Jan Blachowicz and all that. Krylov is, like, actually good. And people forget, man. People forget Reyes' chin is fucking terrible. Reyes fights someone with, like, a sliver of power and he's getting rocked. Like, Jacoby is one of my favourite light heavyweights, but he doesn't have that much power. I know people are looking at the Petrino fight and thinking he does, but that was, like, a perfectly placed shot. Jacoby still rocked Reyes and, like, Reyes ended up beating him after that, but yeah. And then he beat Smith, and Anthony Smith just isn't very powerful, and he was still landing shots on Reyes. And think about it, he fought Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann has power, so he knocked him out. He fought Yuri. Yuri has power, so he knocked him out. He fought Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz has power, so he knocked him out. Krylov has power. He also has a good ground game, although I don't know if that's going to work here because Reyes' takedown defense is very, very good. Watch the Jones fight. And I think Krylov's going to chin him in round 1. And it's going to be sad, and I'm going to be sad because I really like Dominic Reyes and I want him to win, but Krylov's going to win. Bryce Mitchell, brother, versus Gene Silver. Okay. You know what? Yeah. I'm a man of God. I'm a Christian. I'm a very devoted Christian. So, despite things he might have said in the past, I do want Bryce Mitchell to win this. And although Gene Silver, actually, I think he is Christian as well. But is he? Because he calls himself Lord. But, you know, maybe that's like a, I don't know. And where it is true that when Bryce Mitchell mentioned Jesus, this guy's barking and going, fuck Bryce Mitchell. I just think it would be cool for Bryce Mitchell to win, honestly. And the odds have closed up a bit here because early, like a week ago or when this fight was first announced, they were like really wide and Gene Silver was a massive favourite. But even then, like, Bryce Mitchell's a decent underdog here. Watch the Charles Jourdain fight. People would say, oh yeah, he only got taken down a couple times and then he went and he beat him up like right after that. Bro. Jourdain is a striker, a bantamweight-sized guy who's just had his debut at bantamweight and a striker. Bryce Mitchell is a big featherweight, and he's a very good grappler. People forget, man. Bryce Mitchell, his only 2 losses. Ilia Topuria, the guy who went on to be a champion and beat Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. So, and even then he took him down. And he had some success in the first round. He didn't win the first round, but he had success in it. And he got a takedown. And Ilia's, people always glaze it. You know, the reason a lot of people are picking Islam over Ilia is because Bryce Mitchell took him down. Like, Bryce Mitchell is the reason people aren't picking Ilia because his grappling was good enough to take down this guy whose wrestling base and whose jiu-jitsu base people fucking glaze, right? And he is decent on the feet, like Bryce. And okay, his other loss was to Josh Emmett on short notice. He hung around on the feet a bit too much. Now, I'm worried he's going to strike because I think if he does, Gene Silver will chin him. But I think he'd chin him in the first round because Ilia Topuria couldn't, or maybe Gene Silver's that good. I don't know. But no, I think Bryce Mitchell can take him down and win by decision. That's what I'm gonna go with. It might be close, but I'm gonna go with Bryce Mitchell and I hope he wins. Yair Rodriguez, Patricio Pitbull. Pitbull, I've actually been watching him for a while. He's one of the kind of notable guys outside of the UFC. And in his prime, I might go with Pitbull. You know, he is strong. He looks like he can get on the inside. He's quite powerful. And that could cause problems for Yair. I don't know if I'd pick him, you know, because Yair's really good. I'm a big fan of Yair. He did get subbed in his last fight, though. After, like, 10-7ing Ortega in the first round, he got subbed in the second, which was not a good look. But I think Yair Rodriguez for this one. Just Pitbull's like 37. He got knocked out in Ryzen. He is coming off a win, but it's Jeremy Kennedy. Okay, you know. Yair, he's unpredictable. Pitbull's kind of short. Doesn't have the longest arms, so Yair's going to be targeting the body and the head with the kicks. And man, this guy went to a close decision with Max Holloway. I mean, it was kind of clear for Max, but it was a close fight. Very close on the feet. This guy, you know, was having success against Volk. Some, not a lot, but some success against Volk. Beating the shit out of Ortega before he got subbed. Beat Josh Emmett. This guy's been think about it, this guy's been fighting stocky boxers for like so long. Like Jeremy Stevens, Josh Emmett, Volkanovski, Ortega, these guys who are on the feet have a boxing style. They're kind of stocky, kind of powerful. That's who Pitbull is. I think Yaya's going to chin him in the first round with like a kick or some shit. So Yaya. Co-main, Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett. Nobody talks about it, lad. I can't do a Scots accent, honestly. I'm actually sorry for trying to do that. I'm sorry. I don't know. This might be the closest fight. Or the main. There's a lot of like competitive matchups here. Like with this one, I'm not too sure. With this one, Pitbull could win. With this one, this is really close. I don't know about this one. This is really close. A lot of these fights are close. This one's close. I'm like really close. I'm gonna go with Michael Chandler. I want Paddy to win. He's a UK prospect. He's a Cage Warriors guy. He is pretty big over here in the UK. Like people who don't know MMA know Paddy. Most people think he's a boxer, which pisses me off so much. Like whatever. If you're a fucking MMA fan, you know what I mean. Where you're like people just call any fighter a boxer. Whatever. I've just gotten completely sidetracked, but still. I just think in Paddy's last fight, he fought Bobby Green, who was coming off getting brutally KO'd by Jalen. Wait, no, he wasn't. He was coming off a win over Jim Miller. Okay, but Bobby Green was still past his prime because he was like 36 and got brutally KO'd by Jalen Turner before the Jim Miller fight, and it was like really bad stoppage, like maybe the latest stoppage ever. And Bobby Green trips over on Paddy's leg kick into a takedown, a really bad takedown, and just gets triangled. And that does show me, Paddy can take advantage of things, and I could see him winning. I could, and I'm glad this fight got made, by the way. Michael Chandler finally having to fight down is very good, but I could see Paddy maybe even catching him with something big on the feet, but I don't think his boxing is great. His kickboxing is actually underrated, but his boxing isn't great. I think Michael Chandler has a strong stance, kind of a low base, and he's very strong, and he's a good wrestler, and I think he'll be able to use that to stay on the feet. And I'm gonna say Michael Chandler KOs him in the second, just because I think he's a better striker, and even though he's still not very technical on the feet, he's more explosive, and in the boxing, I think he is better. So I'm going to go Michael Chandler. But this is a close fight. It could go either way. Volk Lopez. I've been so back and forth on this one. So when this first got announced, I was going with Lopez. Because Volk's like 36, coming off 2 KO losses. No one at 155 or below has ever won a title fight. Lopez is really powerful. Volk clinches quite a bit against taller opponents. I don't know, man, because the thing is that if Volk survives those first 2 rounds, he's winning, because Lopez will probably gas, and Volk's going to be able to take him down and beat him up with ground and pound. I think Volk could do that in the first round potentially as well, just because I think he's been working with Craig Jones, he's been working with Aljamain Sterling. I think he's going to take more of a grappling approach here, hopefully, because he knows that there's a lot of danger on the feet for him now. So I think I'm going to lean Volkanovski, but this is super close. This is either Volk. I'm going to go, my official prediction is Volk TKO round 5. But this is either going to be that or Lopez chins him in round 1 or 2 with an uppercut or some shit. But yeah, I'm going to go with Volkanovski by TKO in round 5. But this is close, and I'm not too sure. I hope Volk wins, because I'm a fan. But I could really see a reality where Lopez chins him and Volk's I don't know, just another sad post-fight fucking, I gave it my best, and it just wasn't the result we wanted. I can't really do a great Aussie accent, but you know what I mean. I could see that, but I'm gonna go with Volk by TKO. So yeah, that's my predictions. This is a really good fight card. I'm excited to watch it. In a bit, lads.